What's up, guys? In this video I'm going to explain to you guys exactly how to identify a good bet. This is a video that's been requested multiple times, so we're going to jump on here and we're going to show you guys exactly what it takes and how to identify a good bet. So you better grab a pen and paper because there's a lot of stuff you're going to have to jot down in this video. Also, guys, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below if you find these videos helpful. Shoot us a like. Also, don't forget to comment as well and let us know any more videos that you guys are interested in knowing about sports betting, anything at all. Also, in the description, our website. If you're interested in what Linemaker Sports does, make sure you guys click the link in the description, visit our site, DM us if you got any questions at all. Alright guys, let's jump over to the whiteboard. I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what it takes to identify a good bet. What's up, guys? I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports, and I'm going to show you guys how to identify a good bet. Alright, so it may have seemed like a lot of stuff behind me right now, but I'm going to break each of it down. We're going to probably do it in 3 sections, alright? So let's go with the first one. This is just behind me, guys. This is one game. This is how to just break down one game, okay? This is not a whole slate of games. This is just one. So first we take a single matchup. We find one game. This is all we're going to do. We're going to grab one game. This is how you do it, okay? We break each team down. So we're going to take each team, put them side by side. We're going to break down their offense, their defense, their special teams. Depending on which sport it is, obviously, you're going to break down the certain categories. You're going to see who's better in each category. You're going to give them check marks on each side for who's better in each category. All right, that's how you're going to break the team down. Now, you're going to look at the stats from the previous matchups of these teams. Just these two teams, when they faced each other, you're going to look at the previous matchups. You're going to look at the stats. When you look at the stats, you got to compare and see how they compare to each other, how they've played in recent games, and exactly who was on the team in recent matchups, because there could be people that aren't on the team this time that were on the team last time. You got to be able to decipher that stuff, okay? You have to decipher who's playing, who wasn't playing in previous matchups. Was there a star player that didn't play in a previous matchup? Is there more star players in this matchup than there was in the previous ones? You have to break those down. You have to figure out, give those check marks. You have to check mark these teams off side by side and see what is the better team. You have to compare them. This is all about comparing, because this is where you're going to find out what team you're going to want to bet on. All right, the next thing you're going to want to check is the weather report for that matchup. Now, some people, this is a basic thing that a lot of people don't even do. You have to check the weather, especially when it's an outdoor game. When it's an indoor game like basketball, you don't got to check the weather. But outdoor games, you got to check the weather. It's a must, because that really changes how a game could be played. If you just ignore the weather and you don't check it at whatsoever, you're at a disadvantage other than other people that have checked it, okay? So that is a must. You have to check the weather report for a game, the outside games, all right, guys, not basketball, which is played indoors. Now, next thing, check the injury report. Another basic thing, check the injury report on both sides, both teams. You have to check the injury report, because might be star players sitting out. There might be players that are questionable, doubtful. You have to know these things. You have to know if their star players are sitting out or not. It's huge to know these things. And sometimes you can't just rely on your phone to, you know, just throw a little buzzer at you and be like, oh, this guy's injured. They usually only tell you star players are injured. So sometimes there's a lot of players on injury report that you don't know unless you actually dive down into it and you find that out. Next thing, this is a thing that nobody really does, but it's very beneficial. Check the local news report on each team. Check the local news, guys. Local news. Go online. Go on Google. Like, let's say the Tennessee Titans playing Chicago Bears. Go to the Tennessee Titans. Put them just Tennessee Titans news. When you put that in on Google, it'll show local news. They will show little bits and pieces of them writing in local newspapers about the game that's coming up. In those reports, sometimes you can find value. Sometimes you can find out what the team, what their strategy is for the upcoming game. There's a lot of stuff you can find out in local reports that aren't broadcasted in national reports like on ESPN. So look at the local news report on each team. That's very vital. Not a lot of people do that, and it is very beneficial when you're trying to define who to bet on in the matchup. All right, guys, the next thing you're going to want to look at is look at the trends for the matchup. The trends are, let's say one team, actually, let's say both these teams together have hit the under 7 consecutive times. That's a trend. So those are trends that you want to look at. Maybe they hit the over 7 straight times. Maybe the underdog is hit 3 straight times in this matchup. These are things you got to know. These will help you. These will help you identify what team to bet on and where there's a bit of an advantage. Okay, so you make sure you go out, you check the trends for the matchup. Next thing, check for line movement. You got the line movement is when, let's say, a team is minus 13. Let's say all of a sudden an hour before game time it went all the way up to minus 15.5. There's a reason for that. That's a line movement, guys. You got to know why the lines are moving. That means that the money's going certain ways. Okay, so you have to know why the line is moving. You have to know, it's very important to know line movement. That is one of the most important things when you're identifying a bet, is the line movement and where it's going. Because there's reasons why it's either going up or it's going down. Or a reason why a total is going up or it's going down. Sometimes totals are going down in football because weather report. Sometimes it's snowing. Sometimes there's bad wind. Sometimes it's raining. That will cause a total to drop. All right, so that is very vital. Make sure you guys look for line movement and check it out. Make sure why the line is moving. Next thing is check the player's stats versus the defenders. Not a lot of people do this as well. This takes a lot of time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This takes a lot of time to check the player's stats versus the defenders, because this is one-on-one matchups that you have to check. Let's say a receiver against a defender. Let's say one of the best defenders in the league is guarding their leading receiver. He's probably going to shut him down. So that's something you'd probably want to know. And if they really use that receiver a lot, you're going to want to know that the defender is probably going to shut him down. They're going to have to look elsewhere. Maybe their offense isn't going to be as on point because of that just one matchup. So you have to be able to check out who's defending who and how they match up, how single league players match up against defenses. All right, that's on any sport. That's just not football. That's basketball. That's every sport. You got to check the defenders, see who's guarding who, because that can really decipher how a game goes. People don't dive that hard into that stuff. You have to figure things out like that. All right, guys. Next thing is this a key number? Now, this is very important too. This is when it comes to point spreads. This is, in the point spread game, -7, -7.5, -6.5, -3.5, -3, -14, -13.5. Those are all key numbers. Those are key numbers because you got to look at them and see if the game falls in that category. If it does, you got to look into buying numbers. You have to buy numbers to get down. If you're looking at a favorite that's -7, you have to buy that down to 6.5 or 6. It's a must. You should always do it. No matter what, you should always do it. If you're looking at the favorite that is -14, buy it down to 13 or 13.5. It's a must. And if you're on the other side, let's say you're on the underdog side, let's say a team is +6.5, buy it up to 7, 7.5. If they're +13, buy it up to 14, 14.5. Reason why is because key numbers come into play, especially in football. In football, those key numbers come into play, and that's an extra possession that you either need or you don't need. So key numbers are very important when it comes to defining what bet to grab. Alright guys, next thing is dissecting the first and the second half for value. Put these side by side. Grab the first half of a game, check it out, all the stats. How much the team gives up first half, how much they give up in the second half. You got to know each side, because you can bet the first or the second half of a game. Alright, so take the first half, define that. Make sure you see what they score, what they defend, how many points. You got to know all these things, because sometimes sportsbooks screw up a little bit and have a number a little tweaked in the first half or the second half. A little bit tweaked to where you could take advantage of that, or you could jump on that. Okay, so you have to take first and second half and break them down, because second half bets don't happen usually until halftime. So you'll already be ahead of the game if you already broke down the second half of a game before they put the line out. So you'll be knowing what to expect. And if it's more than what you expect, you can jump right on it. All right, the next thing is you got to find out where the money is going. Who's betting on what? Now, I do want to let you guys know, a good place for that is the Action Network. They tell you a lot where the money is going, and it tells you a lot of info about just around online sports books, where the money is going and how much is going certain ways. It's very helpful, and you need to know this because sometimes there's mismatch. Sometimes there's like 60% bets on one side, but yet there's 70% of the money on the other side. that's like a red flag. That stuff falls in a red flag category. That means the public's all over one side, but the big money's on one side. So you got to figure out why that happens. Okay, so that is something very important. You got to know exactly where the money is going in that matchup. All right, guys, the last thing you want to look at, shop for the best line. Okay, the reason why this is very important, you need access to a lot of sports books because you got to have money everywhere. Because one sports book could have, let's say, a team -10, another one could have it at -9.5, -9. So you got to spread your money out. You got to have multiple sports books. You got to have options to a lot of numbers. You got to find the best number. The best number can come down to whether you win or lose. So it's very, very important. All right, guys. Now, another thing I do want to explain to you guys, you're probably wondering, how long does it take to do this? How long does it take to break down one game? This takes about 3 to 4 hours. If you're just a one-man team and you're going to sit down and break down this game, it's going to take you about 3 to 4 hours. That's how long it takes to break down one game, guys. That's why you need a team. When you have a team, you have multiple people breaking down multiple games, you're able to find stuff. You're able to get stuff done quicker. So one person trying to do all this, very tough. And odds are, the person's not going to do it because you can do all this. I just want to let you guys know, you could do all this on the board and you still end up losing the game. That's sports betting. It is what it is. Sometimes you do all the hard work and you don't get the result you want. So what is that going to lead you to do? You're probably going to give up. You're going to be like, I ain't wasting 4 hours of my day on the next game. Like, screw that. Why would I do that? But that is what happens when it comes to sports betting, guys. That is why we at Linemaker Sports, that's why we have a team of people doing this for us. Reason why? Because one person doing this, I used to do this. I used to do this when we started out. And just by myself, doing this took a long time. Then you lose a game, you feel horrible. You spent 4 hours of your day, you thought you handicapped this down to the T, and then something stupid ends up happening in a game. In the end, guys, professional sports bettors only hit 57 to 60% of the time. So 40% of the time you're losing after you do all this. So it's kind of heartbreaking. It is. It's very tough. This is a very tough business. But I just want to let you guys know, you guys were wondering, you guys were asking for what it takes to find a good bet. This is exactly what it takes to find a good bet, guys. This is the hours it takes. It takes you 1 to 4 hours to check all these down. Once you check all these down, you are way above the rest. So you do have a better shot at winning your bet. But like I said, you can still check all this down and then you can still end up losing that bet. All right, guys. So I hope this video helped you guys. Hopefully you guys could try this if you want. If you guys don't want to, like I said, make sure you guys go in the description, visit our website. We do all this for you. So you ain't got to do all this. You just got to listen to us. What's up, guys? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully you grabbed some value from that. And hopefully you realized exactly what it takes to find a good bet and how to identify a good bet. Now, please do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button down below, guys. Throw us a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you guys comment down below. Let us know any input that you guys got. DM us if you got any personal questions whatsoever about this video or about anything. Also, visit the description, guys. Click the link and go to our website if you don't want to do anything that we told you to do in this video and you just want us to do it all for you. Thanks again for checking out the video, guys. I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. As always, guys, stay disciplined, stay consistent. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.